What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show. And if that wasn't the most cringe intro to any video that we've ever done here, I don't know what else to say. Folks, I'm wearing a Salomon colored shirt today. Nice little 3-button, 2-button shirt right here. Golf shirt for a very special reason. I just got my rights restored. It has been over 18 years, maybe 20. I think it's been 20 years. I lost my rights when I was 18. Yeah, it's been almost 20 years and I'm about to be 38 years old. 20 years since I've had the right to do anything. Couldn't vote, couldn't serve on a jury. I really want to serve on a jury, and couldn't run for public office. Who doesn't want to run for public office? Well, folks, I actually really do. I think I would make a good legislator, congressman, president. Guerrero 2020, After Prison Show for president. I want to make this a fun video. I want to make this an insightful video, so we're going to try to do that. You're noticing that I'm filming videos down on my couch now and not in front of the green screen, and it's not because I'm lazy. It's because that room upstairs is just way too small to be filming videos in, and plus my big camera, it's broken. Plus, when we film videos down here on the couch, we got the doggos in the background. They're feeling a lot better too. Thanks for asking. They had some upset stomachs and there was dookie everywhere. Jaron and I cleaned the hell out of these carpets yesterday. But this video is about the fact that I got my rights restored, how proud I am of that. What can I do now with the fact that my rights are restored? And I want to try to provide some information in this video as well for others who may want to get their rights restored. I posted about this on Facebook, this proud moment for myself, and there were people that I knew from prison who were posting, congratulations, but also, hey, how did you do it? So I want to go ahead and address that situation first and foremost in this video, and a lot of other insightful things that I've ran across since researching getting your rights restored. First and foremost, how did I go about getting my rights restored? For anybody who's here in the state of Virginia, you have to be off of probation and parole. You've got to be released from that. That's going to be the first big accomplishment that you have to do. And then you just search for Restoration of Rights Virginia, and it's going to take you to like the governor's website, and you can request to get your rights restored. Now, I requested to get my rights restored months ago, and it usually says that it's like a 2 to 4 week process. But it also says that due to COVID, things are super backed up. I actually had to do it twice. So I did it the first time and it didn't seem like it was going anywhere. And I did it the second time, and that was probably about a month ago. It was over this past weekend where I just checked on the website for the status, because you can also check the status of your restoration of rights and what's going on with that process. And in the past, it would just say pending. Well, when I checked it over this weekend, folks, it said, we haven't ever done this downstairs. I'm gonna look weird, the window's open, there's people walking. I don't care! I'm a YouTuber! Granted. Not granite, like countertops. Granted. Hey, Louie, what you doing, Bubba? Folks, I got those rights back, and again, really proud moment for myself. My mother even called me to talk about this, told me I needed to vote, told me who I probably should vote for, but there's that. People here on After Prison Show who have gotten their rights restored, there's not very many. Shannon was one of the first ones. I think Connor has gotten his rights restored as well. And then myself, and outside of those three, I think Dave would be the next person to be able to get his rights restored. So shout out to Dave, and I hope that that's something he's able to do really soon. Oh yeah, by the way, check him out on YouTube, Dave's World. Also check out Banky Pound. Make sure I'm doing my due diligence to shout out the team, who also have YouTube channels as well. So what can I do now that I've got my rights restored? Well, like I said, I can vote, I can run for Congress or run for public office, and I can also serve on a jury. Folks, Joe Kashi 6'9" on a jury, could you imagine it? Oh, he just looked like he guilty. That's a stereotype, you can't do that. That would actually make for a pretty interesting video, I think. Also, I'm pretty sure that I can get a passport now. Pretty sure that I can leave the country. Where could I go? We could go to Brazil, we could go to China, maybe Wuhan. I mean, it would be crazy to be able to leave the country, but I know that there's certain countries that still don't allow a felon to enter those countries for X amount of years, and sometimes it's like 25 years. I think like the UK and Canada are two good examples of those. I remember a song by, I think it was like Meek Mill or somebody saying that Drake had to get them into the country. I want to say this though real quick. I think in certain states, and mind you, the restoration of your civil rights is going to vary and differ from state to state. Every single state is going to do things differently in terms of when and what you have to do in an effort to be able to get your rights restored. So you're just going to have to look it up. If you're interested in getting your rights restored, you've served your time, you're done with probation. Some states you don't even need to be done with probation. That was the thought that lost my mind. Talking about the passport, I believe in some states you don't need to have your rights restored to be able to get a passport. But the bottom line is you just have to check it out for whatever state that you're in if you're interested in getting your rights restored. Now also, a major clarification that I want to address. Just because I've gotten my civil rights back, I don't have all of them back just yet, but we're going to talk about that. Just because I've got these rights back does not mean that I'm no longer a felon. And in fact, Cody, hey, cue the violin track real quick. And in fact, unfortunately, that's going to be a dark cloud that follows me probably guaranteed for the rest of my life. The only way that you can undo becoming a felon is to get your record expunged. And if you're guilty, I mean, I know a lot of us say that we ain't guilty. I didn't do it. But if you guilty and they got you, dead to rights, it ain't even no sense in trying to get that record expunged. Because it ain't going to happen. Matter of fact, I might be a little wrong about that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's how that goes. Will I always be a felon? Another big part of getting your rights restored is the whole right to bear arms part of this. Because just because you get your rights restored does not mean you get them gun rights back. But it also doesn't mean that you can't get those gun rights back. And just like how all of this varies from state to state, if you're trying to get your rights restored and you want your gun rights back, you're just going to have to look up your individual state and see what their mandate is on your gun rights. I'm no longer on probation. Here in the state of Virginia, you have to get off of probation and parole. You have to apply to get your rights restored, and then you've got to apply or put in to get a court date, and you've got to go to court. You've got to go to court and you've got to basically fight for your right to bear arms. And I am absolutely going to do that. Why? Well, one, I want all of my rights restored. Two, I want all of my rights restored. And three, I'm not going to say the same thing. I know plenty of people who have done this and they've been able to get their rights restored. People that I would have never even imagined. And I'm not talking about you particularly, you know who I'm talking about, but I know, boy, I want all of my rights back. For the people that I know who have done this, they've had to go to court. They've had to have character letters of recommendation, basically. Hey, Joe is a really good guy and he deserves to have all of his rights back. Something along those lines. I've even wrote a letter of recommendation for a guy. I don't know if it helped him or not, but I know that he got his rights restored. That particular right here in the state of Virginia. Now, what's interesting, two things about your gun rights. First is, there are two states, and I don't remember what the second state is, but one state, Montana, where if you are a nonviolent offender, and I read this, if you're a nonviolent offender and you get released, and I believe maybe they mean released from probation. I don't know if they necessarily mean just released from jail or prison. They probably mean released from probation. You're done with your probation. You automatically get your gun rights restored. There's two states that do this. One of them is Montana, and then the other one, I can't remember what that state is. If you guys know, comment down below. And if I'm wrong about any of this, comment down below as well. But when I was looking for this information this morning for this video, I saw it over the weekend, and then I didn't save it, and I was looking for it this morning. I couldn't find it. But what I did find this morning was every state, it was state by state, what you have to do in an effort to get all of your rights back. Voting, run for office, serve on a jury, and then ultimately the big one, getting your gun rights back. Every state is different. And I believe I read that Montana, if you're a violent offender, well, then you probably got to petition the courts just like most everybody else. Now, another thing that I want to ask you guys, and I want to pose this question because I think it's a really valid one. You know, I read an article from 2014, I believe is when it was, that it was something along the lines of it's become a lot easier for an ex-con to get their gun rights back. And yeah, I get it that, you know, maybe not all ex-cons and, you know, felons should have their gun rights back. But, you know, does getting a gun or the right to be able to have a gun, does that make you more likely to fall back into your past ways? Does that make you more likely to go right back into crime, robbery, or whatever the hell you were using that thing for? You get that gun and you automatically gangster as AF. I'm not going to say the F word. AF. You gangster AF. Man, that sounds like some good merch. Gangster AF on a salmon-colored golf shirt. I look like I'm going to a bridal shower in this attire. The hardest prison YouTuber that there is, you better never forget it. And he wears salmon. Pink. Probably should just say pink. I don't think that, you know, getting your gun rights back automatically is going to cause you to go back into any kind of BS or cause you to get into any BS. Yeah, you know, guns, they, whatever. And people got their view of it, and that's fine. I don't really have a view. I just want all of my rights back for the 5th time. But maybe that is a trigger for some people. There's literally a dude walking like the littlest puppy in the world. Oh my God, that thing is adorable. And he's just looking at me talking to the wall. He's like, first of all, what you doing looking in my apartment? Maybe a gun could be a trigger for some people. Like as soon as you get them rights back, yo, you know what I could do with this? Stimulus round 3. I don't even think they've done round 2 yet. And again, I forgot what I was going to say. Damn, why is thinking so hard? Well, while I try to remember what I was going to say there, let's go ahead and move on to some other interesting things that I ran across this morning while looking up the restoration of rights for felons. And the first thing that pops up is, why can't felons get a passport? Well, let's see what they say about that. And it says, under federal law 22 U.S.C. 2714, the U.S. government will not issue a passport to anyone convicted of a felony, federal or state offense, while using a passport for crossing international boundaries. Oh, they mean that if you were using a passport in the commission of a felony, like you was a drug smuggler or, you know, whatever. But that's all they say about that. How to get a passport with a felony conviction. Let's see what they say. The first thing they say is, who is not eligible for a passport? Felony drug convictions, and it says international drug trafficking. I do have felony drug convictions, but I was not Pablo. I was not George Young or Diego. So would my drug convictions prevent me from getting a passport? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a little scared to travel abroad because I've watched those TV shows, Border Wars. Yo, people with felonies, they get hammered at customs. So it looks to me here, Mr. Guerrero. Oh, you've got a felony drug conviction in the U.S.? I don't want to get detained in Cuba. I don't even think you can go to Cuba right now. Certain other drug convictions can't get a passport. Distribution of controlled substances. Well, I'll be damned. Still a felon, just got my rights restored, been off probation, but maybe my drug convictions will hinder me after all. Child support cases owing more than $5,000 US. They don't want you going over there to France trying to bounce on that child support. They want their money. You should be taking care of your kids too. If you got the money for an international ticket, you can pay for them damn kids. Unpaid federal taxes or loans? Oh, I just got a letter from the IRS telling me that I owe $20,000 and I needed to pay that by October the 12th. It's the end of September. I was shitting bricks. Called my accountant and I said, yo, what is going on here? They telling me I owe $20,000. Well, when I was down in Mississippi a week ago, I had made a $20,000 tax payment. It was the last of what I owed. And I guess that just hasn't caught up yet. I do owe $700 in penalties and late fees though. But shit, after paying 60 grand in taxes, that ain't too bad. Being a minor who does not have parental consent to obtain a passport. If you're 15, you ain't going over there to Jamaica. Okay? Sit your little young ass down. You ain't going nowhere. I'm actually having fun filming this video down here. This is actually pretty cool. Okay, felony drug conviction is the next section. And they're talking about crossing the border drug convictions, but then they go on to say other drug convictions. If you are a convicted felon because of dealing or distribution of any controlled substance, your chance of getting a passport can be slim or none. What? Come on, man. Well, who they giving a passport to? That's crazy. I did all this work just so I could go to Turks and Caicos. Cankers? Turks and Cankers, which is actually a U.S. territory. I could go there. But it's expensive. I've been hearing all these rappers and country musicians talking about Turks and Caicos. Shit's like $5,000. The law about this type of conviction is kind of murky. Nonetheless, it may prevent you from traveling abroad if you are denied a passport. That is whack. I don't need to read nothing else about this, so I hope that we were a little bit insightful with that. I know it was definitely enlightening to me and also discouraging. I'm still going to try to get a passport though. Shit me. Wearing a pink shirt, you ain't going to give me no passport. Now here's some more stuff that I found that I think you guys might find kind of interesting. Oh, here it is right here. What states automatically restore gun rights? And that's not what I was looking for. That's the one that tells you what every state does. Can a felon be in a car with a gun? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, you better not be. If you riding around with anybody who got the oo-wop on them, you better find you an Uber. Oh, you got the oo-wop? You got the Uber app though? That was a bar right there. What do they say about this though? If they say yes, they're crazy. They say a felon and firearms aren't supposed to mix like vodka and milk. A White Russian though? A felon and firearms aren't supposed to be anywhere near each other. As a felon, you can be arrested for possession of a firearm if you are merely in the same house or car as that burner. So don't do that neither. Can felons go on cruises? Didn't Carnival Cruise sell like all of their ships? Not all of them, but I know that they got like 10 listed for sale right now. Thinking about buying one of them joints. AfterPrisonShow cruises. The prison cruise line. There could be something to that. Short answer, yes, a felon can go on a cruise, but not all types of cruises. Not all ports and countries will allow U.S. felons on their soil or waterway. I've literally thought about going on a cruise, but cruises do go to other countries. So how crazy would it be to book a cruise, pay for that cruise, and you can't even get off the ship if you're somewhere where you can't get into? You only get in like half the adventure. It sucks being a felon. Can a felon go to Jamaica? No, not unless you got a passport. Can a felon go to Cozumel? Cozumel? Oh, I guess that's somewhere in Mexico, so no, you're not going there neither. Can a felon go to Dubai? No. Can a felon visit Canada? Yes, through the woods. I read a story back when I was locked up a long time ago about a drug smuggler, a young kid who was literally traveling back and forth to Canada, bringing back the BC Bud. Back in the day, that's what it was. It was the BC Bud, the Northern Lights. Nowadays, you got this machine gun Kelly strand, shit that I ain't never even heard of. Can a felon go to Japan? Japan has the strictest laws of almost all nations regarding felons. So I don't advise you go there at all. There's one more thing that I want to share with you guys in this video real quick, and it was a really interesting thing. And I don't even know why I ran across this, but I want to share it with you guys right now. And it says, can a felon marry a police officer? We've done stories in the past about prisoners and guards finding love, but a guard's not a cop for real. Some of them think that they are, but we're talking about an actual LEO, law enforcement officer. I want to make sure I got that correct. An actual Leo. Let's see what they say about this. A police officer can date a felon. They say opposites attract after all. So yes, the fact that your boyfriend is a felon, why it gotta be the boyfriend? They make it seem like it's only the men that be doing wrong here. Knowing damn well they got some ratchet ass females out there. The fact that your BF is a felon will not stand in your way of gaining a law enforcement career. Huh. Pretty interesting. Folks, I just wanted to share these things with you in this video, and I hope that this is something that you guys really enjoyed. I wanted to mainly talk about how do you get your rights restored. And I wish that I could give you guys a concrete answer, but again, it just varies by state to state. You know, once you get those rights restored, you can vote. Some states, they'll let you vote as soon as you come out of jail. And I think some states are trying to allow prisoners to actually vote. It's pretty crazy. But if you want to get your rights restored, just Google what you have to do for your individual state. And it is something that I highly encourage everybody to try to do. Why? Because that means you live in the right type of way. Hopefully, you're able to successfully complete your probation or parole. That means you're staying out of trouble and hopefully staying clean and sober. And that means that you're doing everything that you need to do, hopefully, to be able to have those rights restored. I never even thought about it for the 20 years that I wasn't able to vote. Never wanted to. Still don't, particularly. But it is nice to know that at least of the the 5 things that were snatched away from me, my freedom, the right to vote, the right to serve on a jury, the right to run for office, and the right to bear arms, of all 5 of those things, I've got all of them back now, but one. And it's even more crazy to think about the fact that because of my charges, my God, that almost sounds like some bad type of shit. But because of my damn charges, even after all of this time, this separation, this success, this doing the right thing, and having all but one right restored, I still may never be able to leave the damn country. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am going, because now I'm motivated. You know, at first it was just like a little thought, oh yeah, I'll get a passport. We can go to Turks and Caicos. Cancun? At first it was just a little thought, but now, nah. You're gonna deny me because I was some low budget trying to get money, dude? Like I wasn't no kingpin. I wasn't doing nothing out there. Not for real. More so using drugs than, God bless it, my eye is twitching. Short of it is, damn it, I'm gonna try to get my passport and let's just see what happens. Maybe we'll try to go to England and get detained by customs. That'll be fun. It'll surely make for a good video at least. Just make sure you write me internationally. Folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about this. And as always, until next time, man, it feels like it's been forever since I've gotten a chance to say this. Enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.